Staying with this, Alex Schindler is the president of Energy Intelligence. He joins us live from London now. So, how much would you stand, or EU stand to suffer domestically in terms of energy supplies if a ban was actually enacted in this way?
Thanks, Gary. I think it's important to point out that this ban on Russian oil has been in the works for a while. So I think the European Union has started to get its head around it. I think the important thing to note here is the ban on Russian crude oil, which would be sort of the barrels that are taken out of the ground and sent over to refineries. That's a lot easier to deal with than the ban on Russian crude products, which is much more difficult. And just to illustrate that, if you look at the figures for April, the amount of Russian crude oil imported into the European Union is down some 40% from 2021. And if you look at Russian crude products, so we're talking about diesel, gasoline, etc., that's actually up from 2021. So that kind of illustrates the issue here, and I think shows why the European Union is saying it's going to be phased out, the products will be phased out by the end of this year, and the crude is going to be much quicker.
What about dissenting voices, though? Hungary, for example.
Well, I think this is going to be a real test for the European Union. I think this is always going to be the kind of point where we see where the European Union can value the politics and political union against energy security and prices. And so with Slovakia and Hungary, you're already starting to see questions saying they want an exemption to this if it actually goes through. But let's not forget Germany is also, the European Union's biggest economy. It accounts for about a third of its imports from Russia. So it has a pretty monumental job of replacing Russian oil in its economy as well. So I think we're going to have to see very closely whether this big announcement today actually creates unanimity throughout the group, and it very well may not, and let's see if there's solutions there.
To what extent, though, would Russia be confident that the EU is just too divided on this to make it work?
Well, I think, the European Union has done its best through this period to show a sort of united front against Russia. And, I think that's been the biggest sort of success the European Union has been able to do, because this is very painful to the European Union. Let's not make any mistake about it. The impact here is higher prices throughout all the European Union. And for us, even sitting here in London, but everyone else in Europe has already started to see the increase in prices. So this is going to start filtering through to the politics and going to start filtering through to the politicians. And we'll see what the people say, whether they are willing to sacrifice higher prices for the sort of punishment of Russia. In certain countries, already seeing that start to strain a bit. And so I think this is part of Russia's plan here, to see if it can actually peel away some of the European Union members. Hungary, as we know, has been quite open to talking more in a balanced way about Russia than other countries such as Poland. So let's see if these divisions start to open up, or the European Union can maintain the sort of wall of sort of unity that they've been able to do up until now.
Okay, Alex Schindler in London live for us. Thanks very much indeed for joining us here on Al Jazeera. Now you